What's up, guys?
Welcome, geeks. Welcome to Smarket.
Another
The show where we actually talk about wrestling, our other nerdy passion.
our other nerdy passion.
Other nerdy passion. Yeah, we got
We got
multiple,
all sorts. We got all sorts.
How you doing, man? What's
I'm
going on,
doing
Jules?
great, man. Dude, I just watched Osprey versus Shingo for the title, which happened at like 2 a.m. this morning. Holy fuck. That match is absurd. They did some shit.
I bet.
My eyes can't unsee. I was shocked in that I knew they were going to go back to the well. I didn't think they would go back this early. But
well, the whole Osprey thing seems like a
it just happened.
Well, it's an audible, happened. It seemed like an audible play because Ibushi is hurt. And so I guess Shingo was the best choice to go to real quick to get just a real quick, easy title defense.
Yeah, I mean, big pop, they were the final at the New Japan Cup. Mm-hmm. And here they come again in a title match, even though he'd already beaten Shingo clean twice. And I will say, man, it had me at the edge of my seat. And I knew full well already.
Oh, yeah, you knew Shingo was going to lose.
I knew he was there to lose. He's not the guy yet. He could be, though.
He should be. I really like Shingo.
I love Shingo.
Shingo is a standout every time I watch.
I think they've become the new Okada Omega in terms of the matches they have, the story they've built with their matches, the fact that they've gone from junior to heavyweight together. I mean, there's such a big story told in the match. It was very impressive.
Just don't start having hour-long matches. I don't.
Man, it's a long match. I will say it's like 45 fucking minutes.
Oh my gosh.
But I will say I didn't feel like it was 45 minutes. Some of the matches, like I loved Ibushi Jay White at Wrestle Kingdom this year, but I felt the length of that match in that last 10 minutes. I was like, ooh, we hit the 35-minute mark, and I am ready.
I'm ready to tap. Yeah, we are. Let's end this.
Yes, but I will say this: the Shingo Osprey match goes much smoother and faster because it's Shingo and Osprey. I digress, but what you been up to, Adam?
Nothing much, man. I've just been hanging out. I've been reading a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, yeah, it was my birthday a couple weeks ago, and one of my gifts was one of those big IDW, collections of those. So yeah, I've been really digging that. But wrestling wise, I've just been really digging NWA Power's back, dude.
Man, dude, it is back with a vengeance.
I am all for top babyface Trevor Murdoch.
Man, me too. I had no idea. That's right. Pimp that out. I love Trevor Murdoch, man. I've seen him at so many local shows for the last decade and a half.
The second coming of Harley Race. You can tell he was trained, dude. He looks like him, works like him, talks like him. Man, and that show just has the best promos out of any show going on.
Kudos to Billy Corgan.
And that's really what it's built on, is the promos. Because the wrestling it's not bad. It's really solid, but it's really solid, generic, easy stuff.
It is exactly the first time when I got into wrestling as a child. And I got in through it through my family. And they grew up in Florida in the 70s and 80s. So they got that NWA, Florida Championship Wrestling, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Magnum TA, Rocky Johnson, that classic, cut a fucking epic promo, and then have the fucking squash match of your life.
Right. Magnum TA. Cut an epic promo and then just do one move and you're done.
And that's it. That's it. And I grew up on those tapes where they would have these master promos setting up a match that wasn't until the end of the tape. One of those fancy 8-hour tapes I used to borrow from other older wrestling fans in Florida. And you spend hours just like, fuck. War Games is like 6 hours away, and they're just cutting promo after promo, and the matches are like that. And I love that, man. I love that he's striking on that nostalgia. Like, if you want great looking matches, fucking watch New Japan. Watch AEW. If you want great storytelling and epic promos, watch NWA, man, because it's pure story. It's
it
pure
is,
characters.
and it's simple story, but it's simple story that is developed, that makes sense, that you understand why everybody's doing what they're doing. You understand why Nick Aldis is doing the shit he's doing to Trevor Murdoch.
It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great. No, you're absolutely right. I love NWA. I could not put it over more. And Trevor Murdoch is just the guy, man.
He is, and I'm really glad that he is finally getting his time, because he is. I mean, he was out of the business for a while,
for a long while,
and he's really up there in age. So I'm really glad he's getting this recognition now.
And you know what? Let's kudos to kudos. Fucking Nick Aldis is incredible, man.
Oh yeah.
From his feud with Tim Storm to come into here, the way he has presented his title run and his time as champion, and the way like a true champion, the way Harley Race was, the way Luthez was, putting your opponent over is a lost art.
He always makes whoever he's fighting against look like they're the baddest motherfucker in the world. Like, even this Trevor Murdoch thing, like, the whole reason why he's trying to get Trevor Murdoch to go to a different title, to go to that national title, is because he's afraid that Trevor Murdoch can actually beat him. Like, you understand what's going on.
It's so easy, man. It's so easy. And that, to me, is what makes NWA so great, is it is a promotion. They are promoting these acts. They're promoting these wrestlers, and they're promoting the fights. It's such a simple and lost part of the business. We get so attached to, the cinematic matches, the way stories can be told over long periods of time. I'm not either, but I mean, fans, business has changed so much, and so you lose that side of how it was based on a sport. And NWA, I think, embraces that the best, even though they don't give a shit about wins and losses the way AEW does, but they kind of lose focus of that too. So I just think they've got the crispest presentation, I think, of true pro wrestling right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that feud, that's exactly what pro wrestling is. The guy you don't think could win, but you can't help but want to see him win, face this fucking godlike character who's just a scumbag.
Douchebag. Yeah.
You want to see Zeus fall to this mortal, and you can't wait to see it fucking happen. And it's great, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't put it over more.
It's worth the $5 every month.
It is worth the $5 every month. Absolutely.
All right, so I guess we should dive into WrestleMania week, because that was a thing that happened.
So, did you feel the same way I felt about this Mania?
Well, I don't know how you felt. I feel the way I felt about this whole Mania week was night one was better on both shows, on both NXT and on Mania. Night two kind of sucked on both.
Night two sucked, man. And I'm also going to say this.
I mean, night two, it doesn't help that you start night two with The Fiend coming out of a box-like structure, having a garbage match with Randy Orton just to have a non-finish. With whatever the hell Alexa Bliss is doing right now. I guess she's a lady fiend now. I don't watch Raw, so I don't really know what's going on.
I don't really watch Raw as so much as it exists while we're doing a podcast on Monday nights.
Yes.
And I'll glance up at it and just think, what the fuck is going on right now? My problem with Mania, and I'll start with my biggest issue with Mania, is Bobby Lashley. I really like Bobby Lashley.
I like Bobby Lashley also. I
think he's a great act. I've always thought he's a great act.
Especially with MVP doing all the talking for him.
Especially with MVP.
But why the hell did they break up the Hurt Business?
So, two things that is wrong with how Mania, and this is the best part of Mania, honestly.
Yeah.
Is that, why the fuck, if you were going to put Bobby Lashley over at Mania, did you not keep the belt on Drew and have him beat Drew for the belt instead of beating The Miz for the belt?
Because The Miz had to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase that they already took off of him for some reason and gave back.
He didn't even win it. It was Otis's. We
don't even want to talk about Otis anymore. We don't even
want to talk about Otis anymore. Think about that. Otis a year ago was like one of the biggest and brightest stars, and he is a footnote in the story.
I will say his entire act dies when there's no crowd.
There's no. I know it is.
He
dead.
needs that crowd for.
Or at least his partner, which they ripped off of him and fired.
His partner. Oh yeah. He's going to be one of the big surprises at Slammiversary this year. I guarantee it.
Oh, you know that's happening. So,
I side note, I really love how Slammiversary for Impact has now kind of become the annual which WWE cast-off's going to show up here this year show. It's hilarious, but okay.
It's great. So
go back to WrestleMania. So I will say the standout thing for this entire WrestleMania for me was obviously Sasha Banks and
Bianca Belair.
It
was a fucking awesome match.
It was an awesome match. It was the right finish. Bianca Belair really sold that win. She knows how to cry at the right times.
Dude, this match was probably the best match of Mania.
Probably.
Because the selling, man. I mean, they just made each other look like they were getting murdered out there. It made sense that it was the main event because there was drama. They had built to it. There was storytelling within the match. It was all about Sasha Banks trying to hold on to a title because she always loses her fucking title.
Yeah,
and
she
she'll
does.
be damned if the next Sasha Banks gets to beat her. And it was such a simple story to tell because it was Flair Sting. It was, here's this young person who can do everything I can do and better, who's maybe more athletic and more well-built than I am. And I'll be damned if they take the title off of me. And they did it
right.
They didn't do the wrong thing this time. They did the right thing this time. And you should have put Sting over first time, so put Bianca over first time. Sasha's always going to be over.
Oh, yeah. Sasha will always be on the top. I mean, she's in Star Wars. You don't get more over than being in Star Wars.
And honestly, she's easily there. If you define what a wrestler is, Sasha is the best one they have, maybe guy and girl. Other than AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, who may not be there anymore.
Well, he's not on SmackDown anymore.
His contract is coming up.
It is coming up, so that is probably a good way to write him off permanently. But the way they made it sound, he's can
totally
easily show up anywhere else
or NXT.
Yeah.
My guess is
I would love to see him. I would love it if he showed up on NXT, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I've heard he just wants to do Balor on the way out.
So that he might show up on NXT then.
He might show up on NXT just to do Balor on the way out. I think I heard he wants to do Adam Cole Balor on the way out.
Well, but those are both NXT guys.
So, but yeah, man, Mania was so underwhelming because
my other standouts for WrestleMania week, they're not WrestleMania. They're the two NXTs. They're the two Walter matches, man.
Oh, both Walter matches were
they were easily the best things of all WrestleMania week.
Oh my God, that Ciampa match was the best match of WrestleMania.
The Ciampa match was easily the best match of WrestleMania week. Man, just that spot where Ciampa kept clotheslining Walter 20 times, trying to get him over the top rope, and he just couldn't do it. And then Walter just chops him one time, and Ciampa goes down. Was amazing.
It was awesome. That was the match to me of Mania weekend.
It had a spot I've never seen in my entire goddamn life where Walter chops the announce desk in half with his hand.
Man, that was awesome. That was awesome. You got to put over those chops, man, because he kills people with them now.
Man, Walter is, in my opinion, Walter is my favorite wrestler right now. He delivers every single match he is in, and I don't believe wrestling's fake, obviously, but I believe Walter is a mean ass motherfucker, and I believe that he is destroying these guys every single time he is in there.
He is. I mean, you talked about Harley Race before. He is Harley Race.
Yeah, he is.
He's that guy that's like, yeah, some of this is fake. You know what? The wrestler I compare Walter to most is Minoru Suzuki. Minoru Suzuki was trained as a wrestler, discovered MMA, broke Ken Shamrock's arm like 6 times, is one of the grandfathers of MMA in Japan.
I think Ken Shamrock would stop after the first or second.
Dude, Minoru Suzuki is like the only dude he never beat in MMA that never competed in UFC. So he likes to really hit you. It's famous in Japan that people don't want to work with Suzuki because he's going to hit you for real a few times. He doesn't wear shin guards. He hits you with his shin. He really does slap the piss out of you sometimes. He will actually hit you with the forearm. People say it's stiff, it's hard. He likes to show the marks. So some people don't like to work with Suzuki. Everyone should want to work with Walter because he is fucking awesome, man. Mm-hmm. And I just think he's in the wrong fucking company right now.
Oh, hell yeah, he is. He should be in New Japan. He should be
the G1. He should be in the G1. He should be in
The problem with New Japan, though, is I think New Japan can just destroy somebody's body.
Yeah, because they tell him you can do whatever you want. And
Walter has a pretty gravy gig right now. He only wrestles like once or twice.
It's true.
Like every month, maybe.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. He's got a sweet gig right now. It's just
the NXT UK. I mean, I like the show, but
it's honestly maybe their best product. It's NXT UK.
It's NXT UK. You know, it's a small fish. You know,
it's a really small fish with a really small audience.
Who watches that show? Just you and me, basically.
I don't know of the wrestling fans that I know besides you. I don't know anyone else watching that show. I know people who watch MLW because it's on YouTube for free.
Well, but for now.
Oh yeah, it's about to move. Vice.
Yep.
Cashing in on that.
Right now they're just showing reruns. I don't know if they have a deal for new content yet. I haven't really checked in on that.
I'm curious to see what they do because they put the New Japan Strong Belt on Tom Lawler, who's probably MLW's biggest act.
Yeah, he's definitely the most famous guy there.
Yeah, definitely the most famous.
Yeah, definitely the most famous.
But getting back to Mania, it underwhelmed. And nothing was more underwhelming than Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and Edge.
Well, that was such a weird match because I thought the whole reason for adding Daniel Bryan to this goddamn match was so they could pin him and not pin Edge. But then Roman Reigns goes and he pins both of them at the same time.
I thought the whole reason Daniel Bryan was there was so Edge could pin him and Edge could get one last title run, and then Roman spear the ever living shit out of him.
and then whatever the next pay-per-view is,
exactly.
Roman just take it back. Yeah,
I thought we were gonna Goldberg Edge, and we did it. We just killed him. Just Edge. That's it. Just put him 6 feet into the ground. It's one of those things where up until Mania, you could say Christian going to AEW is underwhelming because, what are they going to do with him?
Actually, I am really into Christian.
This is what I'm going to say. Now, post-Mania, Christian is having the better run already. And, that's so shocking to me that prior to Mania, I would think, Edge is...
That's because they're actually allowing Christian to wrestle. He's doing all of his stuff in the ring, and Edge is... It's all sports entertainment, so his is all promos. And don't get me wrong, Edge cuts amazing promos. Great promos. Yeah, but, Christian is doing both.
Dude, Christian is cutting great promos and getting guys over in matches he's winning.
Mm-hmm. I think Christian is a guy that AEW sorely needs on its roster. It sorely needs a veteran who will slow them the fuck down, teach them some goddamn ring psychology.
Agreed. That Hobbs match, man.
That Hobbs match. I like Will Hobbs.
I do too. That's what made him, though. That's what's made Will Hobbs to me now.
Yeah, but man, he does need somebody to kind of lead him around in there a little bit.
A little bit. He's super fresh, man.
Yeah.
And that match was just what you expect out of a wrestling match. Here's this big guy. He's going to kill this old guy. But the old guy has to outsmart him. And you have to have it make sense. And it was just perfectly laid out, man. The Kazarian match was a lot of fucking fun. I can't wait to see
Kazarian match was fun. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. It's weird. It's weird Kazarian being a heel to Christian while also being a
baby face. Yeah. But
you know, I don't know. AEW is all over the place.
AEW is all over the place because
I guess when we can get to AEW or
we'll talk about it later.
AEW now, but I have problems with AEW right now.
They have gotten lost because you could tell they were in this competition and now the competition's over. So they're kind of starting over in the middle of things though. So they have to kind of get past where they were doing stuff. And
so they hotshot everything.
They didn't I will say they hotshotted less because at least we always knew at the end. Well, here's what I'm going to say. The one thing I give AEW,
they have gone through like 6 months of storyline between the Pinnacle and Inner Circle in like a month.
They have gotten that match over though. I will say I look forward. I think so.
I don't give a fuck about that match. Here's what I say about that match. If Pinnacle does not win that match...
Oh, you know they're winning that match.
But if they do not win that match, I don't give a fuck about the whole goddamn thing.
I think the whole point is the Pinnacle's going to win the match because the Inner Circle's over as babyfaces. The Pinnacle has to win this match. They have to win this match. The Inner Circle is established. They could do the job and still be over. I think, first off, you don't have War Games without getting the heels over the first time. You always have to have heels win the first time. That's just the way it's done. That's what War Games is. Dusty designed it so that way the heels have to have the advantage. They have to win. And that way, that second time around when the baby faces try, that's when you want to see them win. Also, like, you just have to establish the Pinnacle. They have to. It would be utterly fucking ridiculous to kill the Pinnacle now.
All right. You're blowing the main event.
I'm blowing.
Okay. So back to WWE. Is there anything else WWE NXT related you want to talk about? You want to talk about O'Reilly Cole?
So I'm going to say this. I loved O'Reilly Cole. I think they have great chemistry together. I'm sad it's not for the title.
They have great chemistry together. I'm tired of the garbage hardcore matches.
That's where I was getting to is I think
the chain thing was lame.
So lame. They killed that match. But you know what? Like I hate to say this, Adam Cole can't help himself because that's the problem with the end of the Gargano fucking feud was it was perfect, and then we had that fucking garbage match at the end where we do like a kajillion Canadian destroyers, more super kicks than the Young Bucks have ever done, trash cans, all that dude. Sometimes you could just have a fucking wrestling match, and I'm just invested in it. I don't like Cool Kyle. I'm waiting to see what happens with Cool Kyle.
I liked Cool Kyle before WWE decided to go with Cool Kyle.
I agree.
It's the whole like it's cool until they actually notice it. It's like when your parents are like, we're into what you're into now.
That's the problem. Cool Kyle was cool when he was playing air guitar with his tag team title with Roddy.
Yes.
That's when I liked Cool Kyle. When he was just being goofy as fuck in the background during Undisputed vignettes. They missed the boat on Cool Kyle because he was there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hate to say this, they booked Undisputed into the ground.
I don't think they did that.
I think in that they were. I mean,
they definitely ended the group.
Yeah.
I think Bobby kind of ended himself.
Yeah.
Roddy, I don't know what they're doing with Roddy. I think they have a plan. They have something. I don't know.
That my problem is they never know what to do with Roddy. That was the whole point of putting him in that group. I mean,
he's dad.
He's dad. And I hate Dad Roddy because people forget him and Cole were like the best tag team when they were both heels pre-Kingdom in ROH, feuding with Kyle and Bobby. That's some of my favorite shit when it's because I love Roddy. Adam's the best talker and Roddy's the best worker. And they're a good pair together. Of course, Adam's still a great fucking wrestler. But, you know, to me, Roddy is the Arn to Adam's Flair. And you just need that big guy or that great worker who was still good at talking. But, man, he just goes out there and just has epic matches. I mean, Roddy is one of the most underutilized talents they have.
Right now, he is.
Right now.
I don't know. I hope he comes back with something big. I
hope he comes back with something big. And I just think putting the belt on Killer Kross was the wrong idea.
Oh, definitely putting the belt on Killer Kross was the wrong idea. That guy, I don't know. He just cannot. He has not delivered on any of his big matches. I liked his Santos match, but that's because I like Santos.
There it is. I was just going to say the same thing.
I like King Cuerno. That's why I like that match.
Yes, exactly. And I just don't think Killer Kross is the guy. He just doesn't feel like the guy.
He's not the guy. I don't know. I don't know. And he's weird right now because he's not really a heel. He's kind of in this weird tweener role. He kind of acted like a babyface when he cut that promo after he just won the title. But then he's still, you know,
being a dick,
giving Kyle mean looks and stuff.
Dude,
I don't know.
I think Killer Kross, Karrion Kross, whatever he's called now, dude, it was a mistake. It was a mistake ever losing Keith Lee and not really getting anybody over in the end. They have
destroyed Keith Lee, and man, Raw has Keith Lee and Donovan Dijakovic, and they have not had a match once together. What the hell are they doing?
Dude, do you realize the roster?
I know. They have the best roster. They have the best roster in history.
Matt Riddle's there. Jeff Hardy's there.
Riddle is just the new R-Truth.
Oh, my God. Riddle being the new R-Truth is painful. It's painful. First off, it should have been a big deal that two great UFC fighters, Riddle and Lashley, or MMA fighters, got to have a match, and it was just Lashley squashing the ever-living shit out of Riddle because he's a joke guy. He's a joke guy. He's a joke guy that beat up guys for real in real life, more than some of these guys who pretend to beat up people. And he's the joke guy.
He smokes marijuana.
That's the whole reason he quit UFC. That's the only reason. He quit with a winning record because they wouldn't let him smoke weed and be an MMA fighter. So he was like, fuck it, I'll pro wrestle. They don't give a shit. And now it's just...
Ask RVD that.
Yeah, I know. Poor RVD. He probably hates Matt Riddle for that exact reason. But, oh man, they're wasting probably the best roster they will ever have. And it's sad because everybody else could use that roster right now. To the point,
crazy.
They fired, in my opinion, one of the greatest talents ever to grace the squared circle in Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe. Can you believe? Like, we talk about a lot of things that we don't understand that they do. I think the number one thing I don't understand that they did in a pandemic, when they're literally making the most money they've ever made before. They've never made more money than the last 2 years.
Yeah, they're not losing money doing house shows anymore.
They had that motherfucker in a rain poncho during WrestleMania. This is the part of WrestleMania I will never get now. You fired him the week after Mania after you made him stand outside in a thunderstorm.
Well, so they always fire people the week after Mania. That's just what they always do.
But dude,
man, you are right. You are right. Firing Samoa Joe is criminal. Like you're saying, you can't do anything with this guy. He's one of the best in-ring workers to ever happen. Yeah, he's been injured. We don't really know what his whole concussion thing is because I think that was the last. That was the reason why they pulled him off last time. But he's been killing it in the commentary booth.
Dude, he's the only person worth listening to in the commentary booth. The new guy they got, Adnan Virk, is unlistenable.
All he does is movie quotes the whole time.
Dude, okay, so this week, right? I did watch a little bit of Raw, and I stopped. So there's that New Day AJ Styles and Omos match. And I swear to God, they had the same match for Mania, like move for move. To the point I freaked out because I was like, holy fuck, did I put on Mania again? And then I realized
they had to have the same match because that's the only match Omos knows how to do.
There it is. And so I thought about that. So Adnan Virk has the audacity to ask Corey Graves, so where would you rate him in all-time greats, right? Omos. He's talking about Omos, a guy who's had 4 matches. Where would you rate him in the all-time greats? And I'm like, we fired
right next to Giant Gonzalez.
Fuck yeah, dude. Are you kidding? Like, what, greats is for like freakishly tall people? Greats like fucking Bret Hart? Dude. And that's when I'm like, oh my God, we fired Samoa Joe and we hired this ESPN guy? What the fuck is going on?
Well, okay, so we don't know really the whole story about it. Maybe Samoa Joe asked for his release or something. I don't know. Maybe he wants to wrestle. Who knows? I don't really know what's going on.
No, he's my number one Slammiversary because they fucking basically advertised his face.
They did. You know, I think this will probably be good for Samoa Joe.
I think so.
Because he can actually have matches that he wants to actually have. He's at that point in his career now where he can pick and choose any place in the world and he can get a job doing whatever he wants.
I will say my best guess though, obviously I think he'll appear at Slammiversary. I do think he'll end up being the new Taz. In that, like,
maybe
dude, if anybody could be a great manager and get people over who don't know how to talk,
I still think he has some matches left. He definitely has some matches left.
I would love, dude, if Tully can wrestle fucking Marco Stunt, Samoa Joe can have matches on fucking AEW and still be a manager. Yeah.
I definitely want Samoa Joe on AEW. My thing with Samoa Joe on AEW though is I don't want him to. I'm afraid that they're gonna hurt him on AEW
because they take all those fucking risks.
Yes.
But I do want to see Samoa Joe Brian Cage or Samoa Joe Kenny Omega. Those are my top 2. Like, wouldn't it be fucking awesome?
If Kenny Omega has the same kind of match he had with Rich Swann, I don't know if I want Samoa. Well, then again, that was kind of Rich Swann's fault. I was gonna say,
I don't think that's on Kenny Omega's fault because if you watch that match, you can tell
Rich Swann got gas.
Gas. Those last 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're talking about Impact Rebellion. This is the only time I'm gonna ever talk about Impact, even though it's kind of a home promotion for us.
It is.
I don't give a ever living fuck about Impact. But they're having a crossover with AEW, even though you wouldn't know it if you watched AEW.
No, but Don Callis is incredible.
Don Callis is awesome.
His promo before the match started was tremendous. Him putting Kenny over people, unless you actually give a fuck about wrestling. I mean, dude, he said Vern Gagne, and I was like, fucking Vern Gagne hasn't wrestled since the 60s. Who the fuck is paying attention to this? Don Callis is amazing.
Yep.
And this match was great, except for... Well, I was going to say, it was great up until the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was good for about 15 minutes, and then Rich Swann got gassed. And they kept trying to do some high spots going up to the top of the ring. And every single one, they fucked up.
And the impressive part is when you get to the last 5 minutes of the match. Because Kenny Omega be damned, this match isn't going to at least be a 3.5 to 4-star match. And
Uncle Dave will always give him a 4-star.
Oh, of course. But you could tell, like, it was all Kenny at the end. Kenny carries Rich Swann to the end of this match gracefully. Because he's like, I'm just going to V-trigger the dog shit out of you. And let me just
gracefully.
I'm gonna V-trigger you a bunch. Let me hit some dragon suplexes. And then you'll just be dead, and everyone will be okay with it. And that's honestly, to me, what happened is he crumbled under pressure. It was the biggest match of his life, his career.
He did crumble. It is kind of sad because I like Rich Swann.
I love Rich Swann.
I think he's a pretty good.
I think he's a great worker. I think everything happened without everyone getting all the information, and that sucks.
Yes,
because I know somebody who saw it happen. And they explained it to me. It looks clearly like she's yelling at him and just gets out of the fucking car. And that happens, you know, like, and that's where, like, somebody called. It's not her who called and filed.
Yeah.
It's somebody saw it happen and they assumed he pushed her out. And so I feel for him because that ended his big career.
Ended his WWE run, yeah. And I don't know. But he definitely dropped the ball in this match.
Dropped the ball in this match. And
it's really cool.
So bad.
That said, it is still really cool that we are having this crossover, that the Forbidden Door, even though I'm starting to hate that term.
I hate that term because
yes.
It's not a forbidden door. We're just going back to how wrestling used to be.
Yes.
This is how wrestling functioned. This is what NWA was. And I'm excited for it because one of the best releases of the year is the fact that Andrade is going to challenge Kenny Omega.
Well, yeah, and it's really cool that Kenny Omega has all of these titles. He's doing this belt collector gimmick, or he's doing this belt collector gimmick on every show that's not AEW.
Yes.
And it's really cool that he has this Impact title. He has the AAA title. I just wish AEW would actually mention this stuff some more.
Agree. I think that's where they're missing the ball. But they did just so. Two things I'm going to put over in terms of building crossover is we are going to have an IWGP US match.
Yeah, that is announced. That is a thing.
With Yuji Nagata.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool big deal.
That's a big deal. That's a New Japan title defended on TNT with another New Japan, probably one of the most famous New Japan workers, Mr. G1 himself.
Yep.
Fucking Yuji Nagata. And so Jay White defeated Tanahashi to win the Never Openweight title for the first time. And he, in his promo he puts over, he's had the US title, the Intercontinental title, and the original heavyweight title. And he says now that he has this, he is in New Japan, the belt collector. And if anyone wants to dispute that fact, you know where to find me. And it's very much like a little nod and a wink to Kenny.
Yeah. I don't know how I would like that match though, because they're both heels. Yeah.
You could go, but you know what? It would be weird, but it would also be awesome because it's two different eras.
I don't know. In Japan, Kenny would automatically be a babyface just walking in.
But I don't think he would be because he left. And they could put over the fact that this is Bullet Club now versus Bullet Club then. I don't know. I think you could get a lot out of it. I think you get God Young Bucks. You would effectively make.
You could definitely get God Young Bucks.
Yeah, you could definitely get Bullet Club as the baby faces this time around. It's weird.
Maybe.
It's weird.
It is weird. Yeah, I just wish it comes together a little bit more. I guess we should just go ahead and transition into AEW now, because that's the big thing.
That's the big thing right now, man. They're hot in the right spots and cold in the worst spots for me right now.
So it's really weird because we're talking about Kenny Omega. It's really cool that he's collecting all these titles, but then you go to the actual main AEW show and like, what the hell is he doing right now? Man, he's still feuding with Jon Moxley for some goddamn reason. Even though they had the blow-off matches of all blow-off matches.
He still has a title that Kenny hasn't collected yet. That's what everyone keeps pointing out to me. I'm like, oh, I guess you're right.
Yeah, but they haven't mentioned that title at all.
Which is probably why they're putting it over right now.
Yeah, maybe if they decide to.
And I think that's the whole point of that Nagata match, is to put that title in front of you, put that title in your mind, and I think what's going to happen is after the match, Kenny's going to challenge for that belt. That's where they're going with it.
Maybe, and that'd be another easy way to get another Moxley Kenny match out of him. But what is Kenny doing right now though? Other than that, is it a tag team match with
with Eddie and Michael Nakazawa?
Yeah,
man, Michael Nakazawa is.
Nakazawa is a waste of space.
I was just gonna say that I would at this point in time.
So is Brandon Cutler also, but
yeah, I just wish we had at this point even Chase Owens in terms of like a lackey.
Chase Owens is also a waste of space. But
he's a waste of space, but at least he can work. Like Michael Nakazawa. It's not that he can't work; it's that he's not a wrestler in that way you want to see. Like all factions have the underling who's gonna do the job. They all have them. But usually they're at least good workers who are established talent. Michael Nakazawa is none of those things right now if you watch AEW.
I don't know. I just have problems with the Elite in general right now with how they're being booked. Like they have some cool ideas with what the things they want to do, but some of the execution isn't great. Like the whole camper thing, where
right,
where they just mysteriously vanish out of it. After
they should have done the I got you. We're not even in that fucking.
Yeah,
game.
That's exactly what.
That's where I kept thinking they were gonna do, but they didn't do that for some fucking reason. I do love Eddie and Moxley, though. I will put that.
I do love Eddie and Moxley
because it feels real.
That was real. Moxley did almost hit Eddie with that.
He
pipe.
did. He's like, holy fuck, that pipe! Like, I love how sincere that feels. And I will say, I do prefer heel Young Bucks.
Right. And I thought
less insincere.
I also prefer heel Young Bucks, but that turn was awful.
Oh,
that match where they turned
on
Moxley? It was that match where they turned on Moxley was
so obvious.
Some of the worst stuff I have seen in a long time, because that match was so weird because they would set stuff up. Mm-hmm. They were gonna like do the V trigger or whatever to Kenny.
Oh yeah, the BT trigger.
And Nick was all like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. Let's go gung ho." And then Matt was the only one who was like, "Oh, I don't know about this. I really like Kenny, even though he was just beating the shit out of him earlier."
I know, man.
But whatever. This one move you feel bad about. But then you get to the end of that whole segment, and Nick is all gung ho on beating the shit out of Moxley. And saving Kenny.
Problem.
And then the next week, the Young Bucks, they're not like, they're just full-fledged heel. All of a sudden, new clothes, Dior shoes now.
I do love the Dior shoes. Though.
Like, don't get me wrong. I think they look better now. I think they work a lot better now because they
slow down. They slow down. They've really built up the spots. This is what made them famous in New Japan.
It was such a jarring transition, though.
Man, I agree. I think.
And it would have been a lot more impactful if they hadn't have done the heel turn already, like a year ago.
But that's the problem. The problem is they were in a war, and they were playing a game, and now they don't have to be restricted. So they were like, "Well, fuck it, let's just do the shit we've been waiting to do anyways." And they finally pulled the trigger on all the, Kenny is a champ, Bucks is champ. The Elite being together, putting Gallows and Anderson there. It feels like they're finally getting to do everything they wanted to, but Blood and Guts, everything they're doing right now, they've been waiting to want to do. But the problem is, it just happens so suddenly. The whole point of AEW is the build. I mean, that's why we watch AEW, to me, is that they can pay off because they take the time to build and set up stories, unlike everybody else who just books week to week.
They haven't been doing that lately. It seems like they're booking week to week. It feels like they're hot-shotting everything. I think, to me, anyway.
No, I agree. And I think there's a purpose behind it in that, like, Tony Khan is a businessman. And he says, we don't have competition anymore. Let's get as many eyes on the product as we can right now. And then we'll start building again. But to me, as the fan who has been watching the entire time, dude, you already have me. I would watch Blood and Guts no matter what, but I wish you had taken your time and maybe built the Pinnacle up better, given them some wins, maybe put a fucking title in that team. Fuck, put FTR on NWA, dude. I don't know why there isn't a crossover with Pinnacle and NWA, because I feel like that's what I'm missing right now.
That would be good. That would actually be good. Maybe since Sean Spears there, so we can actually do something for
once. Exactly. Dude, Sean Spears and Murdoch. That would be how you get Sean Spears over.
I guess.
As a heel.
Not a lot of people actually watch NWA, though, so I don't really know how well that would work.
But fuck, nobody watches Dark either. Sean Spears is the same amount of eyes,
I don't even watch Dark, but that's because it's always 3 hours long.
It's 2 hours.
Same with Elevation, man. Like,
I know, it's too much, man. I'm already watching New Japan.
See, I watch 205 Live. I watch NXT UK,
and I watch NXT UK.
That's because they're an hour or 30 minutes. Like
exactly. That's gotta keep my attention span, guys. MLW is easy because it's only an hour.
Yeah, right. But man, it's still with AEW though. It's all over the place. It feels a little bit like WCW 2000 with the booking. Not anywhere near as bad as that. No, like it's much better than that. But it's chaotic. It's all over the place. And they have a lot of factions. They have a lot of people showing up in every single segment, just doing chaos everywhere. And there's no direction. There's nothing to focus on. And so when everybody's doing everything all at once, nothing gets over.
No, that's the problem. There's too much.
I hate the Dark Order right now because they show up in every match.
Oh man, they do show up in every match. I will say they've done a great job with Tai Conti though.
They have done a great job of rebuilding Tai Conti, even though I hate her finisher name.
Oh, I do too.
The Tai KO or
the DD Tai.
The DD Tai.
DD Tai is a terrible name, but her in ring was amazing.
It was good.
Blown away by the Sheeta match. I'm ready
for Sheeta to drop that title to Britt Baker. But that said, Sheeta has been doing some really good defenses lately, and that was a great match. It's not time for Tai Conti yet to win that title. No. But she has definitely proved that she is somebody to watch and to really pay attention to going forward. That they need to focus on.
So shocked that I can say the Tai Conti Sheeta match was so much better than Rhea Ripley and Asuka. And I never thought I'd say those words because I love Rhea Ripley.
Well, that's because Rhea Ripley and Asuka was on WrestleMania, which is, again, weird to say. But it's on a WWE program. So at most they got, like, how long was that match? Like 10-something minutes?
They just could not get it together. They had that match twice. They had that match on Raw a few weeks later.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Asuka not have a good match. At worst, but
Rhea Ripley has just been bad. Period. Ever since she is just bad on the main roster.
Ever since she lost to Charlotte, the momentum has not been there.
Nope, not at
all. And the promos have been butchered. I am so shocked to see what's happened to Rhea Ripley, and that's why I'll put over like Tai Conti was nobody on NXT, man.
Oh yeah, nobody. She was enhancement talent.
She was enhancement talent. And that fucking girl, I will say this, she looked like a star. She came off as a star. Her moveset was just fun to watch, man. Dude, also that new Sheeta finisher is awesome. That fucking rolling knee strike is just it's pretty cool looking, man. But I will say that's been some of the best stuff that they've done because it's clear, it's concise. Britt Baker is amazing. I will say for all the griping I used to have about the women's division, it's now one of the best parts of the show.
It makes the most sense out of the show because it's the simplest part of the show. You know, it's not crazy all over the place.
No, man. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. You just follow the ranking system, and I mean, you got it. Unlike everything else, like Darby Allin, he's doing the babyface open challenge thing, but I don't know. I don't need 20-minute Matt Hardy matches on my TV anymore.
No, that match not so much. But the match
10 was a good match.
10 was a great match. Jungle Boy was amazing.
Jungle Boy was a good match. I don't know.
I thought because
I think it's weird booking to put Jungle Boy up against Darby. I don't know. I don't like I don't like Jungle Boy losing to Darby.
I don't like Jungle Boy losing, but he's still so young, and
he is. They have so much time with him.
Time with him, and you just know he's gonna be like.
I just really like Jungle Boy, though.
I love Jungle Boy.
He's my guy.
I think he's the best talent he is their blue chipper. Him and Hangman Page, mark my words, are the best talent they have.
Hangman Page has been weird.
I
don't know what they're doing. I know they're keeping Hangman Page just on a back burner until they want to do the Kenny Omega match. But man, they could do something with the guy. They don't have to keep him on such a back burner.
No. I think they're going to do a program with Cage. I think that's where that's going. I have
a problem with that because Cage is having a program with Cage right now.
I know.
Like Team Taz is having a program with Christian Cage, and they're having a program with Adam Page at the same time, which is really confusing because Cage, and Page, and then you have Ethan Page in the background having feuds with Darby Allin.
Oh man,
like we make fun of WWE changing everybody's names, but maybe this is why they do it.
Reason. There's a good goddamn reason. But I do like the idea of seeing Christian Cage with Adam Page. I don't know why. It just sounds like a fun
Christian Cage and Adam Page. I think that would be a good tag team for just a little run.
Yeah, man.
Kind of merge the two Team Taz stories together.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would
I hate that Team Taz keeps losing like little bitches.
I do too.
Because I really like that act, and I hate I hate that they're teasing the breakup for him because they should not.
I agree because I love Ricky Starks. I always put him over because he was the gem at NWA until he left.
Mm-hmm.
I love Hobbs. I love Brian Cage. Taz is incredible on the microphone. It's like, okay, you know what?
All they do is lose. They run away from old people.
Fucked up the Hurt Business. AEW, please don't fuck up Team Taz anymore. And you know what? Maybe that's why they had Brian Cage beat Adam Page. Because you stop jobbing these guys out, man. Brian Cage should be one of the next guys Kenny Omega faces.
I am surprised they haven't done more with that FTW title.
I was just going to say that.
Because they have only done like one or two defenses that I can remember off the top of my head.
And that would be a great belt for Kenny to covet. And this Brian Cage feud would be smart in that put that belt over.
Man, they don't even have to do that. They just have to defend it so that Brian Cage can beat people.
That's my point.
That's all they have to do. Kenny doesn't have to go after the title. I don't even want Kenny to go after the title. I just want Brian Cage to beat people.
I do too, man. He is an underutilized talent that they have. And dude, you have him in a great fact. And don't get me wrong, actually, he had a great match against Darby and Sting. He was one of the highlights of that.
Oh yeah, that was a good cinematic match.
But he lost. Starks lost, but he was part of the losing team. We need to start giving Team Taz W's. I'm firm on that. I'm firm on them needing to push Team Taz and Santana and Ortiz. Those guys, man. I want Pinnacle to win.
Especially Santana.
But oh my god, dude. Especially Santana.
Okay. Real quick, before we get into that, because that is getting into blood and guts. One last thing before we get into that. The Factory. I've actually enjoyed the Factory's booking for the most part.
I love this story.
Because the Factory, they're actually taking their time. They're letting these guys win matches. QT doesn't do anything to win any of his matches, which I love.
I love that, man. I love the gut punch.
But they're letting him win all these matches. Yeah.
Dude, I love the Anthony Ogogo gut punch. I love they're getting that over. I love the Factory. I love everything about this act.
My only gripe was I didn't really like the bus this week.
No, the bus was a mistake.
And it's not necessarily that I hate the bus in concept. They could do the bus, but I think they should do the bus. They should show them showing up in the bus like as a thing. That should be like a thing that they do for like a month or two.
Yes,
like show up in the bus every single time. And then you can do the bus
fight
angle
on top. Yeah.
But next time when you do a bus angle, don't do a figure 4 on the top of it. This is a rule. If you go on the top of a bus,
don't do a figure 4 leg lock.
Well, no, if you go on the top of any vehicle, somebody has to come off that thing.
Yes.
That was the main reason why I hated that final beat match between Gargano and Ciampa, because they got to the top of that truck and then they got off of it during commercial.
And you never figured out why.
You never figured out how.
The other thing that really sucked about the bus was why the fuck was Aubrey on top of this bus?
Oh,
you're brawling on the bus.
I
love Aubrey. I love Aubrey.
No, I don't love Aubrey.
Oh,
I have problems with. I have problems. With all of the wrestling or of all of the referees in AEW. I have problems with.
They're
specifically Rick Knox.
Oh man,
Rick Knox Rick Knox might as well not
shoes.
even be in the ring during the match because he's not going to tell them to do anything.
No.
That spot where the Young Bucks did twin magic and he was like, I see you guys doing it. Oh well, I guess it's fine.
They don't even look kind of alike. Matt has a full beard and Nick is a baby face. I don't understand.
What the hell? Aubrey is usually fine. Aubrey just kind of annoys me every once in a while because I'll be like watching a match and then I'll see her standing in the corner and she'll be doing like a full-on horse stance or some sort of power pose. And it's like, why are you doing that? Just stand there.
That's because Aubrey takes the ref style of Red Shoes, where if you watch Red Shoes during a New Japan match, that
he does the same thing. Yeah,
he has a move for every move that happens. Like if you watch Red Shoes, every move he has a different face and something to do with his body, and Aubrey does the same fucking thing.
The real thing that I'm not a big fan of Aubrey right now was that Impact match where where she was getting the chair away from Kenny or whatever.
We just had to give Aubrey a spot in that match.
They just had to give Aubrey a spot, and you know Aubrey's used to like work into huge arenas, not to this one little personal studio. And so she's all super big and stuff. And it's like, man, you look like a clown.
I know, man. I will say that it's total misuse of Aubrey. Aubrey should have just reffed the end of the match. That would have been so easy to do.
That would have been so easy to do.
That would have been so easy to do. But no.
Just do a ref bump, let her come in and do the end of the match.
We did the ref
that way
bump.
You can do some you can have some good old classic controversy coming out of it.
Yeah, I thought that was a missed opportunity.
All right,
let's do
talk
this.
about Blood and Guts. Even though we've talked about it already, like a shit ton. All right, so Pinnacle and the Inner Circle are coming together on free TV. I guess it's not a one match event.
No, like apparently they decided to change their minds.
Which thank God.
Thank God. That would have been a little hard to watch on TV.
Yeah, especially with the commercials. I'm still not really looking forward to watching this on TV.
Yeah, I'm really shocked.
I really wish they would have just delayed this until the pay-per-view.
But they could pull the old, commercial free. There's got to be what they're doing. There's got to be something.
They still do the picture-in-picture, but I hate picture-in-picture. I'm not gonna lie.
Picture-in-picture, man. I hate it. I just want to watch the fucking match. I can't either. I just get up because it's so hard.
It's hard to concentrate. It's hard to concentrate when they're trying to sell me fucking pies,
Dude. But I will say this match should have had a longer build.
It definitely should have. Pinnacle should have actually won matches. The only match they've won together is the three it was a trios match. Where Sean Spears could barely beat Griff Garrison.
What the fuck, man? No, dude. I'm so underwhelmed by the build to this match in terms of matches. But I will put over the fucking promos to this match.
So yes and no. So MJF has knocked it out of the park every single time he talks. Oh my
God. He's been cutting tremendous promos.
He cuts tremendous promos. I'm hot and cold on Chris Jericho. There was one promo he cut where I don't know if he smoked a doobie before he got out there or if he drank a whole bottle of the bubbly or what. But I don't know. He could not keep a train of thought, and Santana came in and saved it. And Santana definitely saved it. Santana
and Sammy have been the secret weapons in the promos leading to this match. In terms of Chris does all like the big things that you have to say, but to me, the shining aspects of all of the Inner Circle promos have been Sammy Guevara and Santana. My God, dude. Those two as babyfaces is the right call. I know Chris Jericho is going to always be over, but seeing Santana and Ortiz and Sammy as babyfaces is, I think, something we all need because they're
over, man.
They're over, man. They're
people cheer them anyway.
Yeah, dude. Ever since that street fight, Santana and Ortiz have been fucking over.
Man, Santana and Ortiz have been over from the start. They've been over since they were the only reason to watch Impact at one point.
They were the only reason to watch Impact at one point. That's 100% correct. They cut incredible promos. They have some of the best in-ring work I've ever seen a tag team have. I mean, dude,
but
it's like
they just never get focused on, man.
They just never get
they're always
focused on.
behind people. We have Sammy Hager going on all the
Yeah.
time. It's stupid shit like that.
No, and I think this is the match for them to shine because I look at the match ahead in Blood and Guts, and the guys who had the best street fight in fucking ever, the only street fight that fucking Uncle Dave has ever given 5 stars, these guys are built for Blood and Guts. And there's one thing I look forward to watching tomorrow is Santana and Ortiz in a Blood and Guts match.
Yeah, definitely.
With
I will
FTR. With FTR. Yes. That's what I'm looking
forward to. Work rate wise, this will be a fantastic War Games match, especially with Sammy starting it.
Yes.
Sammy number 1 is the best choice for the first person to get double teamed.
I mean, I will
say
by
the heel team, but I think this match will totally deliver in ring. It's just that's whether or not Pinnacle wins.
Pinnacle has to win.
Pinnacle has to win. If Pinnacle loses, it doesn't matter how good this match is. It sucks because you have destroyed your brand new heel stable.
I think Pinnacle will win.
That is the stable you keep comparing to the 4 Horsemen all the time.
But that's the one thing I'll give AEW a lot of credit for is if you look at like Santana Ortiz beat the Young Bucks in their first pay-per-view match. They do give the Jericho when the heels are the heels, they do put them on top. And Inner Circle, this is the time to do the JOB again.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with them doing the JOB. You've got people to beat. These are baby faces to be made. They need to lose. And you're going to get I will say, at least they have the best 10 guys to have this match. You have all the pieces there.
Shawn Spears needs to have a
great match.
Breakout moment. He needs to have some.
He should start, man. Him and Sammy.
Spot. I don't know if he should start. I don't know if he's interesting enough to watch for 5 minutes alone with Sammy.
You know what? That's where I give Sammy credit. Sammy will make him look vicious. Sammy's great at selling. This will be a really great because they had the moment.
Well, they did have the moment together, so yes, they will probably start.
They will start. It'll give them it'll give Shawn a
because the parlay, which is the best segment of the entire feud, which I still don't think is saying much. I mean, I don't like a lot of the things they've done in this feud, but that parlay segment was really well done. They laid out all the rules. They laid out who has the advantage. Of course, the heels.
Of course.
And they gave you the direct feuds to watch out for during the match. So yeah, Shawn Spears, Sammy, that's definitely going to start it.
I think that's a great way to get Shawn over as a heel because Sammy's fucking awesome, man. Sammy is fucking awesome. Sammy is going to be probably their biggest star in a few years.
He's going to have to sell his ass off in this match.
Oh, he's going to sell Shawn Spears like it's no tomorrow. And you know what? Shawn Spears is the guy. He needs it. He is their Barry Windham. He needs to come out like Barry Windham.
He does.
He needs to come out as the guy. You're not going to hear him talk much more. And he needs to just fucking wrestle.
He's not a bad talker.
He's not. He just needs to prove that he's a great worker. And he is. I've seen him have great matches.
I've been a fan of him in the past. I actually liked his Ty Dillinger run. Back in NXT, yes. He was one of the few guys in NXT to actually leave on top. He got to leave. He got to leave beating his villain.
Yes.
So that never happens on that show.
Never happens on that show. So I think this is his chance to come out hard and give us that perfect 10 looking match, man. And do it as a heel. So he could really have fun with this. He can work. We all know he can work. I'm not afraid of his work. And when you got MJF talking for you, cool. Fucking ride that, man. He's that guy I think will benefit the most from this group. I will also say that. I think he benefits the most.
Well,
FTR's over.
I mean, he can't get any worse than where he was.
No, he was fucking nowhere.
It's weird saying that because it's not even like he is jobbed out or anything. He wins like every match he's in.
Every fucking match he's in.
But he's just never focused on anything.
Oh, man.
No, it doesn't matter. He's like white noise.
But that's like the beautiful story to be told is that it's happened to him twice. And so like him becoming the heel to say all that, he was the heel for the last like year in AEW. But this does give him a good story to tell with Sammy in terms of Sammy will be a bigger star than Shawn Spears ever was. And you could play off that because that's real life. We all know Sammy's. If you invest in Sammy, you'll get a greater investment than you invest in Shawn Spears. And everybody fucking knows that. Sammy Guevara is young. He's talented. He's better at almost everything Shawn Spears is. Shawn Spears' shelf life is shorter. Play the fuck off that. And I mean, that was the whole point of that segment was Sammy's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, dude, fuck your old, never used ass. Like, dude, at the end of the day, your girlfriend will probably be more over than he is. And I'm so for that. Ain't that the fucking truth? So I think this is, to me, a make or break moment for Shawn Spears more than anybody else in this match.
Definitely.
This is by far the biggest match of his career. Because at least Sammy was in Stadium Stampede.
I can't think of any other big match that he was in. I mean,
no. And it's on national television for free. He has to hit a homer. Everyone else is going to hit a homer.
I have no doubt that FTR is going to work their asses off.
I even think I have more
Scott or Dax. He is going to bleed.
He's going to bleed all over the place. He's already got busted open. I think there'll be a lot of blood in this match.
Probably. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Santana and Ortiz, and those dudes always bleed.
It's going to be interesting to see what TNT says after this match.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a level of violence that I don't think.
Well, at the same time, I think they're okay with it because they've been running one championship after AEW lately, and there have been some brutal looking MMA matches on that one championship. And I've been very surprised that they've aired on TNT. So, they're pre-recorded. I mean, they're not live, so they know how fucked up these matches are. So I think TNT is just like, fuck it, ratings.
Yeah, I guess so.
I will. I mean, they let them say shit way more than I thought they were going to let them. So,
well, at least they're not MLW and just dropping full on F-bombs.
Oh yeah. Well, the MLW doesn't care because nobody watches it.
They're on YouTube, yeah.
They're on YouTube, and they're on Vice now, which you can already drop F-bombs on Vice.
Nobody watches Vice either, so
no, nobody watches Vice either. But yeah, no, I think Blood and Guts will be a lot of fun. I will say that. I think it'll be. It will be a lot of fun.
It'll be a lot of fun. They have a couple other matches announced for.
Oh yeah.
I don't really remember what they were off the top of my head.
Yeah, because they were matched. They weren't built to the way everything fucking else is.
They were just random hotshot undercard matches. But yeah. Anything else? Anything else from this last month or coming up that you want to talk about?
So obviously, I'll say the Jay White Tanahashi match for the Never Openweight title. If you haven't seen it, go out of your way to watch it. It's a ton of fucking classic. The story that they tell is absolutely beautiful. It's about Jay White trying to prove to Tanahashi his time is over. He spends the whole match working Tana's poor fucking knees. And it's no secret. Everybody knows
it's
Tana's
always his knees, man. It's always his knees.
And it's always his knees. And it's an awesome fucking match. They have a good old-fashioned pro wrestling match because it's all about making the other tap out, which is so rare to see these days. So, these days it's all about the blood feuds. It's all about ending people's careers. He just wanted to make him tap the fuck out. And Tana be damned if he was going to tap the fuck out. Jay
is always so great when he's doing that.
Oh, man.
Because he's talking shit the whole time.
Dude, if you want to hear... And I mean, this is NWA quality promos during the matches. I mean, this is... Flair Steamboat, they're talking the whole fucking match. And Tana's actually speaking English. So if you speak English, this is great because it's the first time you can hear Tana just speak. No, I'm best. And they're just in each other's faces the whole match.
Now, still my favorite thing from the whole G1 was the Jay White Ibushi match where the whole match Jay White was just walking around the ring mocking all of the fans, trying to get them to cheer for Ibushi.
Man. Even gets the microphone at one point and screams at him. Oh man, Jay White,
even though they're not allowed to cheer because due to COVID, they're only allowed to clap. But the whole match, he's as a heel, he's trying to make them cheer for their hero while he's just beating the ever-loving shit out of him.
Jay White is, in the COVID era, to me, become the best heel. He's always been a great heel. I think just because I love MJF. His promos are amazing. He's a fantastic heel.
His ring work needs to.
His ring work. Jay White has everything. He's great at the ring. He's not destroying his body. He's wrestling like a traditional heel because he doesn't do anything flashy, but he does do some of the best suplex power moves that you could find. He's a good old-fashioned wrestler. And there's legs in that, man. He's going to wrestle a long fucking time because of it. And he cuts great, real, awkward-ass promos. That promo after he lost to Ibushi, he worked me. He worked me. I thought he was going to quit. I really did. He worked me. I was like, fuck, is he going to quit wrestling? Because of the COVID shit and him living in New Zealand and he's been in Japan basically for the last 6 years straight. I was like, okay, this is real. He's for real. He's like, fuck, I do everything and I lose. Fuck, all my title runs are short. I was like, did he? And then, of course, he worked me. He's still working in New Japan, and now he's the openweight champion. But the man has hit just this little plateau. He's just getting up there in terms of his work rate, man.
They're really trying to get that. They're really trying to get that never openweight title over. We're putting all the big names on it now. Now that the IC title's gone.
They're trying to make it the next thing. And to their credit, some of the best names in wrestling have held that title because they didn't give a fuck about it for so long. Guys like Ishii and Goto and Shibata have made that, and Suzuki have all made that belt worth talking about. It's been the BMF belt.
Yeah.
And Tana's just that first main eventer to touch that BMF belt. I mean, dude, to me, that title is also that moment where fucking Will Ospreay legitimately knocked Kota Ibushi out at Wrestle Kingdom with the fucking hidden blade. I've never forgotten that moment. That's how he won that title. And now he's the big champ. So they've definitely established that title as a big stepping stone because Ibushi and Ospreay have both held that title now.
All right. I think it's time for you to start wrapping this thing up.
Yeah, let's just wrap this thing up, man. It's been a great month of wrestling. It's going to be, I think, maybe a better month of wrestling.
I hope it's a better month of wrestling next month. I hope now that, especially once they get past this pay-per-view.
Yes.
I hope AEW starts to stabilize a little bit.
Yeah, because Double or Nothing's kind of there.
Stop throwing everything everywhere. They're really throwing the spaghetti at the wall right now, seeing what sticks.
I think once we get after Double or Nothing, we're going to be in an AEW we all want to see. I think that now that they've opened the door in the middle of them doing too many things at once, they're going to maybe get some fucking direction after this next pay-per-view.
They need it. Tony Khan needs I really think he needs somebody helping him book that thing.
I think he needs Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe's the kind of guy who's been in TNA, he's been in ROH.
Got the people there. He has Arn Anderson walking around.
No, man.
Just listen to that guy. And he has JR. So just listen to those guys.
And JR alone buries half the product.
Oh, hell
yeah. He knows what's wrong with him.
JR is Bobby the Brain Heenan in WCW. You know?
He is. He knows what works and he knows what doesn't, and he doesn't ruin his credibility. That's one of the best things about JR is he'll be damned if anything ruins his credibility during a match. He will tell you when it's there. That's obvious, like the camera angle. He will not fuck around. I'm not gonna forget the Penna Trent pile driver where you see that Penna's head doesn't touch the mat, and JR straight up no sells it. Like, no, I think he's fine. I think the bat. I think he's like, it's like I think the bat things kept him because there's no way his head touched it. He's just pretending. I was like, oh, JR just no sells the shit out of that one. But I do have a lot of hope in what's going to happen in terms of at least AEW. I have more hope. I don't look forward to Backlash because it's all the same matches.
Backlash. I mean, I watch all the WWE pay-per-views, and they're usually okay.
They're there.
But no, I'm never excited about any of those anymore.
No, not at all, man.
No.
But I'm
excited to watch this NWA Power. We are missing right now.
I know. I'm as soon as we're done. I've started that video over. I'm hoping not to catch the live part. That's always the worst. It's always oh damn! I clicked on it too soon. I do that all the time.
Oh, man. Well, I think it's time to get out of here.
I think so, bud.
We'll catch you guys next month.
That's right. Keep watching that wrestling.